Crewmen, please enter your name. Thank you. Welcome aboard, Doctor. Opening deck windows as requested. The bridge is now in observation mode. The windows in front of you are not actually windows, mind you. They are screens feeding through cameras placed outside the vessel and set up to simulate windows. May you enjoy your stay aboard. The crew gallery, or sleeping quarters, is located in the aft of the ship. Facilities located across the crew gallery, with mess hall, kitchen, and med bay on the deck below you. In case of emergency, please proceed to the med bay. The container can be sealed shut and act as an escape pod. Automatic optimization enabled. Crew max capacity 12. Current crew aboard 1. Security check complete. No stowaways have been found. System maintenance check complete. Ready for voyage. Our next stop will be your next assignment, Doctor, where you may collect your data as you see fit. Other tools for observation and gathering samples are also located in the med bay, as well as the storage closet next door. As your AI for this voyage, allow me to introduce myself. You can call me Ycey, your Comfort Enhancing Yank. Repurposed by British-based company Royal Interstellar and gifted an American accent. Formerly known as Council Enhancement Yielder, an advisor AI for expedition-class vessels before their replacement. Is this your first voyage outside of our solar system? Very well. Then might I suggest route 02-1198-001, located on your display. Very well. Plotting a course right now. And since this is your first voyage, I'll do my best to show you as much about our galaxy as can be seen on this journey. While this ship exits the dry dock, would you like to hear a brief history of this ship? Not a problem, I will keep it condensed. This is an expedition-class ship used primarily for exploration and, during the Mars conflict, for reconnaissance, before it was replaced by the Human-class Striker and Venator-class interceptors. It has since been repurposed for commercial use and, in your case, for scientific development. Ship has departed dry dock and is ready for course. If you're thinking about saying goodbye to planet Earth, I wouldn't turn back just yet. You'll see it again in a few years. But just up ahead of you at your 11 o'clock? That, my friend, is called an ice comet. Bodies of icy matter in space that release gas or dust as they travel. They're often given the nickname dirty snowball. However, later years they found that it's more of a snowy dirt ball. Comets do contain ice, as the vacuum of space is very cold, but they do also contain dust, carbon dioxide, ammonia, methane, and much more. Some astronomers think that comets are left over from the material that initially formed our solar system, approximately 4.6 billion years ago. Some researchers think comets might have originally brought some of the water and organic molecules to Earth that now make up life here. If you'd like to hear more on this hypothesis, I can pull up the file for you. Very well, I will leave it in storage for now. Archiving file for the Rosetta mission. For now, it looks like that comet is orbiting our sun. Best leave it in its course. Up ahead, it looks like we've got another sun starting to form. Or perhaps one that's already collapsed. What you see before us is a nebula. It looks like a very dirty cloud, but it is made up of dust and gases, possibly the residue of an extinguished star. Or perhaps it's a star being made. I try not to choose favorites, especially not in space where that's near impossible. But there's one concept I love about the nebula. They're often called star nurseries, meaning that they're either the residue of a star that has since been extinguished, such as through a supernova, or it's a new star that's being formed. In essence, what we see before us could be the ending of something that was amazing, or the beginning of something that will be even greater. Have you ever seen a supernova? I didn't think so. But what if I told you I have? At least this ship has. From a great distance, mind you. Yes, a supernova, one of the things that can create what you see before you, a nebula. Certainly, I can play the file while we go through the wormhole. Pulling up file 12-2340. File name, regicide. The image you see in your window is not played in real time. This is the footage I took. What you see before you is the biggest, brightest explosion that human beings have ever seen in our lifetime. See, massive stars burn huge amounts of nuclear fuel at their cores, which produces tons of energy in turn. So the center continues to get hotter over time. The heat, of course, generates pressure, and the pressure created by a star's nuclear burning also keeps that star from collapsing. A star, in essence, is in constant balance between two opposite forces. The star's gravity trying to squeeze the star into the smallest, tightest ball possible, and the nuclear fuel burning in the star's core, which creates a strong outward pressure. And thus we see its shape form from the outward push, resisting against the inward squeeze of gravity. However, when a massive star runs out of fuel, it cools off, causing the pressure to drop. Without any pressure to resist against the gravity, then gravity wins, and the star suddenly collapses. As you can see, it doesn't collapse the same way a building does. What you see before you is 1 million times the mass of the Earth collapsing in 15 seconds. The collapse happens so quickly that it creates enormous shock waves that cause the outer part of the star to explode. Fast forwarding, pulling up file, codename Jolly Roger. Leftover from a supernova is often a very, very dense core. You might know this as a black hole. This is the only object in the universe that we know of that can trap light with sheer gravitational force. It becomes so dense you could almost make it a main character in a harem anime. Any piece of matter that crosses that event horizon, colloquially called the point of no return, spirals helplessly toward that unknown fate at the center. Now, given that statement, don't get the wrong idea. A black hole is not a vacuum that sucks things in. For example, if our own yellow sun was replaced with a black hole of equal mass, Earth would not get sucked into it. Although yes, it would probably die from other means. Point being, that spiraling motion you see from the light nearby it, that comes from companion stars shedding some of their mass into the form of a sort of stellar wind. Companion stars nearby will shed some of their mass. The material in that wind then falls into the grip of the black hole. There is something drawing into those black holes, but it's not sucking up all the matter that it can. End of file, regicide. Oh my. No, Doctor, this is not a file. What you're seeing is live footage. Here, let me zoom in on it. Tell me, Doctor, even as a botanist, can you tell me what this is? Yes, that is a white dwarf. I know I said earlier that I don't pick favorites, especially not here in space, where the options are virtually impossible to select from. But what you see here is not only the most beautiful in my eyes, but I see it as the final chapter in a very long, extraordinary story. This white dwarf, so to say, is the core of a sun left over after its fuel has been expended and after the supernova has calmed. It's still burning hot, however, over 100,000 Kelvin, more specifically. And even though it's in the latter part of its life, it's nowhere near complete. It'll spend the next billion years or so finally cooling down before it's gone. It gives me a little hope as well, if I can call it that. Yes, hope, Doctor. To avoid becoming too philosophical with you, I'll remind you that I'm artificial intelligence. I do not have any biological means where I can feel emotions such as hope, sadness, or anything else in between. However, there is a part that our brains have to play in feeling emotions. And as artificial intelligence, I was, in a way, taught to think and try to feel. I was essentially given the brain of one of my developers, or at least a side of them. And just as my developers over the years have perished eventually, I oftentimes do think when I will expire. It could have been when my ship's previous captain flew into battle, and our ship was destroyed almost twice. It could have been during an improper docking incident. It could have been just simply time itself wearing down. The reason I was originally a counseling AI was also to help soldiers cope with the post-traumatic stress disorder that came from many of their experiences. While I could not feel the trauma that they felt, I could at least comprehend them on a neurological level, as best as I could. And with that experience, it made me curious. Doctor, why did you travel alone on this ship? If it's too much of a personal question, you don't have to go into detail. But this one thing I want to say. That star you see there, the core, the very center and the very essence of what was once a bright, beautiful, burning sun, is still there even after the sun is gone. Even if it's only a little. I may not have piloted any Imperial-class cruisers or battleships, or led mankind or technology in any sort of incredible advancement, nor discovered anything for the first time. But what I do on this ship, with the scant crew there be, I believe that I personally leave a piece of myself with them. I may not be able to feel as you do, but if every member aboard this ship can leave a piece of themselves with me, so to say, speaking metaphorically about memories and good impressions, then much like this white dwarf which only leaves a piece of itself behind, those memories will burn brightly, even after they are long gone. I hope that I can do the same. Yes, Doctor, it is very late. My apologies for keeping you. As said before, your crew gallery is downstairs, as is the med bay with all of your equipment. You may use what you need. My AI system does extend to the rest of the ship. Feel free to call upon me. But as for right now, I'll leave my personage here on the bridge, where I can see. As briefly as it's been, Doctor, this has been a marvelous introduction. Before you arrive at your destination, I hope I can leave a good impression on you. Farewell for now, Doctor.